Hi there and welcome to this week's live stream guitar lesson. I'm DavidHerries, and this week rather than doing the usual GuitarQuest lessons we are going to have a go at a Christmas tune because we are into December, and so we are going to play today We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So just to give you a bit of a heads up, the sort of the difficulty level I suppose you'd say, if you've studied GuitarQuest 2, you'd probably be okay. If you study GuitarQuest 3, this should be pretty straightforward. A couple of the chords might be a bit tricky, but you know, and if you're not that far in the journey, just do as best you can really and try and work your way through it. Melody wise, it's not too bad. The chord backing is a little bit more challenging. I've written it out in two ways though, so we're going to do a sort of an easy chord backing, which is sort of partial chords, and then we're going to have a go at just strumming normal chords and making up a bit of a strumming pattern there. So and I should apologise as well, it's early December, I haven't got my decorations up, so it's not looking as festive as some Christmas videos, but you know, it's where we are. So okay, so before we get started, oh sorry, to the question, where are the notes for this song once again? Let me I'll just put a link to on my web page. Yeah, so on my web page, there's which I've just put in the comments there. You can download, or just go to that page, and then there's a button in the bottom right hand corner which is for it has the PDF download for We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So if you need to get hold of that, then please do download it. But what we're going to do, just start with our tuning as usual. Okay, so start with our bottom E. You just want to make sure your strings are sounding the same as this. And then we're going to go on to the A, it's our fifth string. And then we've got a D, which is our fourth string. G, then we've got B, and then finally just our top E string. Okay, cool. So that's hopefully the guitar's in tune. I'm not going to talk about posture too much, so just remember trying to let the guitar slide away from you. That's probably the big thing to watch out for, I would suggest. But let's crack on. So, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. I'm just going to bring the music up onto the screen just for a second so you can have a look at it. And just a couple of things to watch out for before we get started. So first of all, we are in 3/4 timing, which means we've got 3 beats to the bar, 3 crotchet beats to the bar, and we have the key signature there. It's got 1 sharp, so that's all our Fs throughout this piece of music are played as F sharp. We've got 1 here. The F sharps that crop up are the Fs on the 4th string, so we're going to go 4th string 4th fret rather than 3rd fret. I'll explain a bit more about that in just a second. And the other thing which you may notice is in this very first bar we've only got 1 note. Okay, so you just have to, should we say, well, it's a pickup bar. We talked very briefly about this the other week in the GuitarQuest 4 lessons. We've only just got onto it at the time of recording this. But basically, not all bars, or the first bar doesn't always have to be a full bar, so it can start on whatever beat it needs to, and so that would be an anacrusis or a pickup bar. So that's what we've got going on here. But then after that, it's 3 beats to the bar, and in a break with the usual GuitarQuest sort of how should we describe it? The music that I put out there. Normally I just put the staves out, but today we're including tab, and the tab here is telling you which frets to play and on what string. So 0 is an open string, a 2 is a 2nd fret, 4 is 4th fret, and the strings on the left here, this lowest one here, that's your bottom E, and it works your way up to the top E. So it can feel a little bit upside down. That's a pretty standard kind of comment that I get from people, like when they first start introduced to tab and that. Even notation, it can seem quite confusing. But yeah, just whatever makes sense to you, but it can feel a little bit upside down. So, but anyway, let's have a go at the melody then. So we start on the D, which is our open fourth string, and then we go straight onto a G, both crotchets, then G, A, G, F sharp. So we're going to try and maintain the one finger per fret idea. So you do the open G, A with the second finger, back to the open G, and then the F sharp. And ideally we're going to use the pinky finger. If you really struggle, third finger's fine. The most important thing is that you can play the tune. However, from generally trying to build as much solid technique as we can and trying to make sure we don't neglect the pinky finger is a big one. And I would say it's the easy, out of all the techniques you might choose to, or you might try to work on with your guitar playing, neglecting the pinky finger is probably the main one that I think gets a little bit lost. So yeah, do try and include that if you can. So if we're counting in, we'd be starting on beat 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, start on 3, and then we're into the tune. So that's the first full bar, and then we just drop down to the E, 4th string, 2nd fret. Got 3 of those, so nice and straightforward. And then we're going to go to the A, 3rd string, 2nd again. So there we've got A, B, A, G. So again, nice sort of straightforward melody. And then we've got that F sharp again, so 4th string, 4th fret. Again, trying to use pinky if you can, and then open D. Okay, so before we move on to the next line, let's try that together, see how we get on. So remember, we're starting on beat 3. We're going to go nice and slow, watching out for the quavers and that kind of thing. I'm assuming that you probably know the tune anyway. It's obviously quite a famous one. So you'll probably know whether you're getting the timing right or not. But let's give it a go and see how we get on. So after 2 in this case. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, that's it. And up to the A. F sharp again. Okay, cool, let's try it one more time. So after 2 again. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I should have mentioned as well, we do have the live chat feature, so please, if you've got any questions, do fire away in there and I will answer them as we go or at the end, depending on what feels most appropriate. But let's move on to the second line then. So we're going up to the B, the open 2nd string, and then got B a couple of times, then up to the C, back to the B, then the A, so B, B, C, B, A, then the next bar, open G, E at the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then the open 4th string a couple of times, okay? So before we go on to the next bar, let's try those 2 together. So this bar's 5 and 6, okay? So after 3, so second line, first 2 bars, so 1, 2, 3, so it's B, B, C, B, A, G, E, D, D. Okay, hopefully making sense. And then to sort of finish off that section, you've got the E 4th string 2nd fret, A 3rd string 2nd fret, back to our F sharp, new favourite note hopefully, and then an open G. So the last couple of bits there, so E, A, F sharp and G. We have got a D at the end of that bar, but that's kind of leading us into the, well, it's a bit of a funny one, like whether these are choruses or bridges or verses or whatever, but it leads us into the next section anyway. So, so yeah, let's try from the beginning and see if we can work our way down to the end of the second line, okay? So remember, at the start, we start on beat 3, so we're going after 2. So very best of luck with it. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so 1, 2. Second line. Okay, so hopefully that was okay. If you want me to play it again but slower, again just let me know in the comments. Otherwise I'll just assume that's a reasonable kind of tempo for now. So let's have a go at the third line then. So it starts off with G, G being, you know, from the GuitarQuest course, one of the first notes we learned, so hopefully one you're fairly familiar with. So we've got 3 of those. Then down to the F sharp, 4th string, 4th fret. And you play that again. Back to the open G. Then the F sharp again. And then down to E, which is the 4th string, 2nd fret. And then the open D. And then we, that's a 2-beat note or minim. And then we have a B at the end of the line. So if I just play that line, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Then we come to the F sharp. 2, back to the G, F sharp, E, D, 2, and then a B. Okay, so that's the third line. So let's have a go at the 4th line as well. So as we move on, we come up to the C, 2nd string, 1st fret, couple of Bs, couple of As. Then up to the D, the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Then we come down to the D an octave lower, which is our 4th string. So you've got 2nd string, 3rd, D, open 4th string, D, and then the same bit as earlier in the tune actually. So you've got E, A, F sharp, G. So the end, same as the end of the second line there. And then we just kind of go around again, really. So, so yeah, from there we go back to the beginning. Although, slight typo actually. I've just noticed we don't play the anacruit or the pickup bar. We don't do that very first note. So we go back to the start of the first full bar, and then we're off and round again. Okay, so. So let's try from the very beginning down to where it says DCL coda, so the end of the 4th line there. We'll try it together, we'll see how we get on, let me know, and yeah, and then we'll see where we go from there. So after 2 again, perhaps go a little bit slower this time. So I'm going to count 1 and 2 and then we go, okay? So 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Second line. Cool, okay, and so from there we would go back and play, ignoring the very first bar with that single note D in it, we play most of the first two lines again. If I just bring the music up onto the screen just to make it clearer. So we are going to go back to here, pick up that G, sorry, look at the notes, so G there, and then work our way through to here, and when we get to that F sharp, we're going to drop down onto this G down here. So let's imagine we've just got, well, we got to where we've got to, so we're going to go back to the start of the first main full bar there, and we play down to where it says Da coda, and then we drop down to the coda, which is that solitary bar at the bottom of the page. So because we haven't got the pickup bar going on this time, we're coming in after 3. Okay, so same kind of tempo. So after 3, so 2 and 3 and. G, and that's it. So what we're going to do is try and play it all through together in just a second. I believe there are more, or there is more than one verse, so you know, if you needed to repeat it, you just obviously repeat the various sections that you need to, but yeah, you know, from the purposes of like the bit that everybody knows, it's just basically what's written here. So let's attempt it the whole way through then. Okay, so after 2, because we have our pickup bar right at the start, okay, so starting on that D, okay, so I'm going to go 1 and 2 and, so we're going to keep it nice and slow. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Second line. Two. Third line. F sharp there again. Going back to the beginning, first main bar. Second line. Coda coming up, and then the G for the coda. Okay, cool. So that's the melody. If you'd like to play at a slightly faster speed, let me know, and we can do that. But otherwise, I'd like to have a look at the chords. So on that PDF, again, if I just bring that back up, we are going to skip on to the next page, and we'll be having a look at this section. It does go over slightly onto the following page, but there's not a great deal on that. So now, so in terms of chords, these are kind of more partial chords really, and by that I mean rather than us sort of strumming full chords, which we'll do right at the end anyway, but we're just going to pick out bits of them. So, I'm going to work on the assumption that you have a vague idea of chords. If you look on the third page of the PDF, they've got all the chord shapes there anyway. If you've been following the GuitarQuest course, then I think most of them you should be okay with. We haven't necessarily spoken about all of them up to this point in the course, but the ones that are there are either ones we talked about or variations of a theme kind of thing. So hopefully it will be okay. But anyway, let's start. So the first bar then, we've got the G. So rather than doing a full G, we're just going to hit the 6th string 3rd fret, and then we do a couple of open strings. And typically our pattern is going to be a bass note and then strings 2 and 3. So we do the G, open a couple of strings a couple of times, then we go to the C, so we've got to get 5th string 3rd fret and 2nd string 1st fret. So that's perhaps one of the more challenging changes in the chord bit here. So we've got, just recap, so you've got the G, then the C, A7, which we haven't spoken about, but for the purposes of this, all we need is the open 5th string, open G and the C sharp here, so 2nd string 2nd, and then the D, so we've played this before, B7 I don't think we've covered yet, but for this one we're going to go 5th string 2nd and 3rd string 2nd, and an open 2nd string with it. So the bass note is this one here, so we play that, and then this 3rd finger is hopefully in place on the A, 3rd string 2nd fret, and we play that with an open B. So you've got the bass note, an E minor, nice and straightforward, just open strings, back to the C, then we've got a D7 for one beat. So again, slightly trickier change, but if we're on the C here, as before, then we're going to just keep the 1st finger where it is. We can let go of the 3rd, and we're going to add the middle finger to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, which is our A note, and then play those 3 strings together. So that bar again, we've got 5th string 3rd fret, then 2nd and 3rd strings, then we get the middle finger to the 3rd string 2nd, and then we're back to the G. And that's kind of sort of taking us up to the chorus bit, if you like. So let's attempt that together, just nice and slow, after 3 from the beginning up to bar 8. Okay, here we go. So 1, 2, 3. Both at the 2nd fret, open strings for your E minor, then the C, D7, and back to G again. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to carry on. So the next bar starts off on the G again, same kind of thing. Then we've got a D, A7, that's our C sharp one, so open 5th string with open 5th, open 3rd, 2nd string 2nd. Then in the next bar we've got the D again, but we've got a couple of open strings where really it'll be a G chord that's played there. But in our G chord, because we've got a load of open strings, we can just kind of get around that by playing the open strings. Then we've got D7, so back to the one like we had in bar 7, so 2nd string 1st fret and 3rd string 2nd, back to the G, and then the final bar of this page, same as the end of the 2nd line, it's the C chord, so 5th string 3rd, open 3rd, yeah, sorry, kind of confusing myself, sorry, I think I said it right though, 5th string 3rd fret, open 3rd string, and then 2nd string 1st fret, and then we drop into that D7 shape, but letting go of the third finger and adding the middle finger to the third string second. And then we've got top of the next page, G. So again, just 6th string 3rd fret and the open strings. And then we've got the repeat, we go back round, and eventually we just finish on the G. But rather than playing all the notes one after another, we're going to play those 3 at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to try the whole thing. So see how you get on. Hopefully it'll be alright. We're going to take it nice and slow. Just even if it highlights like, oh okay, I need to work on this particular chord, or you know, if you find it difficult, don't necessarily jump to or allow your mind to go to a point where you think, oh, I'm just not very good at chords. It's like, actually, if you analyse it, you're probably alright at most of them, but there's maybe 1 or 2 that perhaps are a bit more challenging, so they'd be the ones to work on, you know. It just depends where you are on your journey. So let's try it. So from the top, after 3, okay, so 1, 2, 3. To the C, 2nd string, 2nd fret, and our D chord, B7, both of the seconds, open strings, C again, quickly onto the D7 and back to G, and keep going, D, A7, D again, open strings, D7, G, and C, D7, G, and back to beginning. And the C, A7, and D, B7, E minor, C, D7, and then we finish on the G. So, okay, good stuff. If you managed to play any of that today, then give yourself a pat on the back. Very well done. So, obviously, the melody stuff, that's more in line with the GuitarQuest course, because we've been focusing on the single note playing. We have done some chord playing, but it's not been the focus of you know, our main kind of thing. Anybody following the GuitarQuest course is likely to find the chords a bit more difficult than the melody, I would guess. Anybody else that's just tuned in just to see what's going on, you may well find the chords easier. It just depends what sort of thing you've been playing, really. So what we're going to do, just to finish off with, is just have a quick look at the full chords. So obviously the bit we were just playing was sort of partial chords. We were just taking bits out of the main chords to play an accompaniment. So for example, if there were 2 of you, one of you could play the sort of the simpler chord bit, one of you could play the melody. Alternatively, you can just have a go at the full chords. So if you know them, then you've got your G like this. Again, all the chord shapes are on the PDF on the final page. You can play the G either way, it doesn't really matter. C, again, hopefully ones that you know. A7 is like an A chord, but without the 3rd string pushed down. And quite often you'd swap the 1st and 2nd fingers over, so you end up with those fingers 2 and 3 there. And then D, again, another quite common chord. We talked about that in GuitarQuest. B7. Now this is the one that is a little bit more challenging. It requires all 4 fingers. However, it actually, in a bizarre way, it's usually all right to play. It might take a little bit to get the fingers into position initially, but you can probably get all the notes to sound quite nice and clear. So, yeah, B7 is very, very common on guitar as well, so definitely one worth getting to grips with. Then we've got E minor, nice and easy, probably the first chord you ever learned, and then a C, then a D7. D7 is like the mirror image of D. So we've got third string second, second string first, and first string second, and then we've got a G. Those are all the chords that are required. So the question then becomes, well, what strumming do you do? And you know, you can do a variety of things. You can play it in different ways. I would suggest if you're newish to chords, just strum like 1, 2, 3, that kind of thing. If you're a bit more confident with it, maybe like sort of beat 1, just a single strum or the bass note, and then maybe down up for 2 and 3 ands. That would give you a nice kind of feel. But really, you know, as long as you get the timing right and you've got 3 beats in the bar, as long as you're changing as and when you need to, it should be fine. So let's try it. We're going to play the chords all the way through. I'm going to do the more the busier strumming pattern I mentioned just there. If you want to try and join in, please do so. Very best of luck, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. So after 3, starting on that G. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So down, down, up, down, up. So D, B7, E minor, should have mentioned on that, but I'll just do single strums. A7, single strums again. D, G, single strums here again, and then the G. Then we're going to go back to the beginning. E minor, single strums again, and we're going to finish on a G. Okay, cool. So if you did manage to play along with that, as before, give yourself a pat on the back. Chord playing is one of those things that it can seem quite challenging to begin with because you've got to move a lot of fingers in a short space of time. But the chords never change, so once you've got them down, you've got them for life. So definitely something worth persevering with. And just one final little thing, just to finish off with there. So in bar 7, for example, at the end of the second line, we have 2 chords in the bar. So rather than maintaining that strumming pattern of kind of like 1, 2, and 3 and, we would just do 3 strums to keep it simple. So you maybe go 1, 2, 3. And I forgot to mention that before we started, so apologies about that. But hopefully that all makes sense, and hopefully with a bit of practice you'll be able to play We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So we will finish up there for today. If you've got any questions, please do fire away in the chat, or if you're watching this back at another time, just post them in the comments underneath the video, and I will do my best to get back to you. Next week we are going to attempt another Christmas tune. We're going to have a go at rocking around the Christmas tree. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be another sort of chordy one. It'll be mainly the intro and the chords that we're going to have a go at. So yeah, something to hopefully look forward to. And the other thing I would mention is there are a couple of Christmas tunes that we covered last year on my YouTube channel. So that's we played Last Christmas and Jingle Bells. So the lessons are still on there. So just go to the playlist page, I think, on my YouTube page, and you'll find the Christmas playlist in there. And yeah, and they will be in there. And that is where this video will get uploaded to as well. So if you want to come back and watch it again, just to try and get a bit more out of it, then it will be there. You know, it gets uploaded within the next hour or whatever it is. So yeah, so that about sums it up really. So very best of luck with We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and hopefully I'll see some of you back here next week for rocking around the Christmas tree. So have a great weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. All right, take care then. Bye bye.